How does one gain salvation in the eyes of the Orthodox Church? I would say salvation is communion, and communion is salvation. So the way to be saved is to be in communion with the Holy Trinity. The way into communion with the Holy Trinity is through the God-man who said, I am the door, I am the way, I am the life. Unless you eat my flesh and drink my blood, you have no life within you. Salvation is simply to be whole, to be made whole from brokenness, from distorted energies, from distorted passions and so forth, to be saved from being apart from God and all the ramifications that come with having severed communion with God. If we want to be saved, we must come into communion with God. And the way into communion with God is to be grafted into his body, which is, as I said in another point of our conversation, Jesus is the theanthropos, the God-man, the one who is completely like us as human, except not a sinner, and fully divine. To be saved is to have our clay, our humanity, brought into the divinity, into the life of God. So one of the illustrations that's often given by the fathers is like iron. That's an analogy to our human nature. Iron put into the fire takes on the very quality of the fire. It doesn't become the fire by nature, but it becomes fire by grace. So we're saved by grace, by this gracious communion with the uncreated energies of God. So the iron goes into the fire, and pretty soon, if you just look at the iron, it is full of the warmth of the fire, full of the light of the fire, full of the life of the fire. It has become all fire. And so, but how? Through communion with God. And so that's in a nutshell. Our salvation is communion with God. Concerning the real presence of God, I think what that often will mean is the real presence of God in the Eucharist, in the communion, in the liturgy.